Yay! Last day. If you guys want, if somebody reminds me, there is a secret seventh day because this can be a 7 day group, and it's so many of you guys have done it before, which is why I didn't include it. But you know the time management one where you do the 168 hours and then you subtract all your time and then you put your things together and you find out how many hours you really have in your life. That's the seventh day. But we usually do it on like Tuesday or something. If you guys want the recording from the last time I did that, I'll give it to you. Um, but so many of my people have already done it. But if you want it, let me know. I'll shoot it out. It's good. It might not help you at this stage in the game, but it's always a good thing to see how much time you're spending doing what things. But today is support and accountability. We don't always include this one. Just depends on the vibe. Like if I want to do a 5 or a 7, but we're doing a 6 day. You guys get this like one random one off here because I feel like a lot of times what we run into is we have all of the best intentions in January or whenever you start whatever, that's we've all started different things. I started my fitness journey in a December once. That's where my journey starts. So whatever, wherever you start. Um, but motivation only gets us so far. And, some people think that they have poor willpower or something's wrong with them, when in fact they just live in reality and that's life. And there are cycles and there are obstacles and there's just stuff that makes it harder to get things done, especially because the most safe place that the human body can be is in homeostasis, right? So, from like a fitness standpoint, when you're working out, the reason why your muscles will tear and then grow so they can be bigger is because they want to be in homeostasis. They want to be steady, safe, everything's the same, right? So they're like, oh, okay, if they're going to keep doing this activity, then I need to be big enough that it doesn't hurt when we do this activity. And that's why your muscles adjust to your activity level. Your brain also really likes safety because even predictability, if you know it, even if it's shitty, that's still safer than what it doesn't know because it knows how to handle this. And this is how we get stuck in a lot of toxic situations, jobs we shouldn't be in, relationships we shouldn't be in, because your brain's always going to choose safety because what? You're wired to stay alive. You're wired for survival. That's the goal, number one, right? And then you're operating, you want growth and newness and experience in a system on top of an operating system that just wants you to stay alive. So you're combating that a little bit anyway, all day. So, a couple months in, and we're not really doing those things that we said we were going to do. And it sucks. So let's talk about some ways that you can have support and accountability in your life. And what is the difference between support and accountability? Okay. A lot of times we look for support in the wrong people and we look for accountability in the wrong people, or we ask for support and we get accountability. That's not what we wanted. Or we ask for accountability and we get support, not what we want. Okay. So finding the right people to do each thing. So what is support? Support is picture construction, right? Do you guys know what a support beam is? So there's certain beams in your house that even if you're remodeling, you cannot remove them or the house is going to fall down because the pressure of the beams on top is being held by these beams. It's just there. It's just there. It's not really, it's just there to just be here to make sure nothing falls apart. It's not making it worse. It's not actively doing anything. It's just supporting. Hey, I'm here. We're good. This is possible because I'm here. That beam just exists, right? So support is something where you're not asking somebody necessarily to reach out, to check on you, to, do these like milestone things, but you're also not really wanting someone around that's going to detract. We don't want anyone cutting that beam out, right? So support is really just being a steady, positive influence on whatever you've chosen. This can be like, let's say you have a spouse or a roommate in the home. You don't need them to check with you if you've done a workout or check with you if you've completed your power hour for your day, for your business, right? You don't need them to dole out punishments or criticize or anything that you might be used to when it comes to like not completing things. That's not their role. But they also, you don't need them bringing you gas station snacks and fast food, or you don't need them walking into your office during that hour that you're working and asking you 16 questions because they can't find the fucking ketchup or some shit, right? Like, they just need to be there. They need to not get in your way. They need to believe in you and be willing to hold you up, but not be your boss or your accountability partner. Oh my God, Deanna, I was married to a personal trainer. I am familiar. Yes.
Not always fun.
No, no. And it's like, and that's hard because even for them, that's their version of support because
Yeah.
that's how they show up for people, right?
Yeah.
And other people
Yeah.
really
Oh yeah.
like it. You're like, no, bro, you're just here to like be my cheerleader, to
Right.
help hold me up, right? Yep.
People always say you're so lucky. Like,
Hard disagree. Hard disagree. I mean, it's good because they're not going to make your habits worse, right? They're not going to come in and sabotage you, but that's not their role in your life. And I really, really recommend, no matter how good your guys' relationships are with your family, your close friends, or your spouses, partners, etc., I really don't recommend making them your accountability person. It's not good for your relationships, right? That's not great. Um, Now, some people do go into business with their spouses. I have done that also. And then you sort of have that accountability piece in place. You have to, but I still recommend getting outside accountability. Okay. So what's accountability? Accountability is a person, a system, a group, an app, stuff like that is I am going to make sure you did the thing you said you were going to do. And there are consequences, not punishment, but consequences for your actions if you do not see this through. Like maybe that coach doesn't continue to work with you, or you're removed from a group, or I did something once with Josh Coates where like you checked in every single day, and if you didn't do the things, they just kicked you out of the group. Like not even like if you didn't check in, like if you didn't complete it every day, you're just gone. You're like, that was a lot of money to get thrown out of a Facebook group real quick. Um, there's these websites where you can put you give the website your money. You give them like a lot of money, like $5,000. And if you don't complete the goal and give them proof that you completed the goal, they give that money to like the opposite political party or your ex-husband or someone you don't want the money to go to, essentially. Um, that's some, if I don't do this, there are consequences. Okay, so do you guys see that we interchange those words incorrectly sometimes? Okay. So I want to make sure we're clear on that. And that's actually why for the challenge group that I run, the No Judgment Journey, I never called that a support group because that's not what it was for. Support groups to me, they remind me of like when I was going to Coda, where like we sit in a circle and then we're like are a little bit sad and about our lives. And like we're just here to get through it. We're here to get through it. We can do it, but that's not necessarily growth, right? Like that's not we're moving forward, we're doing something, we're creating something, we're building something. That's more like survival. And so I never really liked the idea of support group as far as like what we called our thing. Um, but there is an element of support that still goes on. That just wasn't the main focus, right? So support. How to get support from people in your life, okay? If it's the people, these are the examples I always use, okay? I use people living in your home, the people you work with, and then the people in your social circle / social media. Okay. People in your home. Just tell them what you're doing. Express what it is that you're going to be doing if it affects them. Like, okay, I'm doing my workout at this time. That means you guys, the living room is mine for this time. Or maybe you go to a gym. I will not be available. So like somebody else figure it out. No, I'm not taking you to your friend's house that at that hour. No, I'm not walking the dog during that time. No, you cannot have a snack right now. Figure it out. You're giving me this 35 minutes. Like, leave me alone, right? Or if it's your power hours. That was a big one for me, like to the point where nobody was respecting that. I mean, I had a toddler, but the other person in the house was a grown adult. Where I started locking my door. Fine. Like you're gonna be a pain in the ass, you can't come in here. Like if you have no self-control to not interrupt this hour, if you have that little respect for the work that I'm doing, then I will just lock you out. Like if I have to, right? I don't want to do that. First step is, hey, these are the hours that I'm setting, no interruptions. Or hey, I am setting this goal. Do not, if I'm doing dinner and done because I'm on to be mindset, do not offer me a snack. I don't need you to not have a snack. I mean, that'd be cool. I would appreciate that. But I'm not controlling you. I just do not hand me one. Right. And if you're eating on the couch and we're watching TV and I choose to leave because that's too tempting for me, you don't get to be mad about that. Right. So this is just like letting people know what's happening in the environment in which you live. Okay. And then setting boundaries, like I said earlier this week, setting boundaries is honestly the easier part. Enforcing them is harder. So that first time they do still offer you that snack, or the first time they do walk into your office when you're working, you're like, I'm trying to make some money here. What are you doing? You then have to say, hey, we talked about this. This is super important to me. And then they will eventually respect your boundary to the point that you respect it. That's how that works. So if they know you're serious, they will eventually fall in line. Even little kids, they take longer. But people are always like, how do you get Destiny to like leave you alone? And I'm like, well, if you do it enough times, that she knows, because your kids will interrupt their workout 85 times. Well, yeah, when she was 3, but I just kept doing it. And then she finally gave up. She's like, okay, fine. Okay, so that's support with the family. Now, coworkers. This can be something as simple as, hey, when I have this sign on my chair, don't interrupt me. Hey, I'm only checking emails every other hour. Please don't ping me on the Slacks and the Teams and all that, or I'm marked as away, or I'm putting this on do not disturb for an hour every day because I get too distracted and I can't get my damn work done. And if that's not acceptable culture in your place of employment, make it that way. You can set the boundaries. It's not illegal. Okay. You can say, yeah, well, this is what I need to do to get my work done. So I'm doing that. And people will fall in line eventually and they will get annoyed, but they will get used to it and they'll be fine. If it's like a power hour situation where you're working for yourself, letting maybe your upline or your if you have a success partner or buddy, no, like this is when I'm working. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm working on. Like, you can join me, whatever. And just letting them know, like, let's not ask me any questions during this time. I work with Brittany a lot. She's not taking this class, I don't think, this time. So she's not going to see this, but I work with her a lot, and she knows that my phone's on Do Not Disturb like 15 or 16 hours a day. Like, I just won't talk to anybody because I have the attention span of a kindergartner, and I'll pick up my phone to go do the thing I was going to do, and I'll be 6 tasks away, and I won't know why I picked it up. So my phone is on Do Not Disturb. I don't get notifications on my phone for the most part because if I ever want to get anything done, it's just not an option for me. No. So she knows she has to wait. And that's okay. She's allowed to double text. She'll text me 7 times in a row. That is not a problem for me. Because when I open it, I'll handle them. So with your coworkers, set some things. Maybe it's a health and fitness thing and you work in an office. Hey, do not invite me to lunch. Hey, don't put the donuts on my desk, please. It's not personal. I love that you baked these cookies for the people, but I'm not doing that. No guilt trips if it's your birthday and I'm not eating cake. I'm not eating your feelings. That's weird. I'm doing me, okay? Like, I will sing you happy birthday and I'll give you a hug and I will sign the office card and put in the $2, but like I'm not doing the cake. Don't pressure me. Right? So just like letting people know, hey, this is what I need. None of that is accountability, but it does create some accountability for yourself. It's internal accountability, right? Because you're just like, well, now I have to do this because I'm gonna like look stupid if I go back on it now. All right, social media. This might look like not drinking and being the designated driver when you're at girls' night and telling people, hey, like this is important to me. I'm doing dry January. Like, don't pressure me, or I'm just simply not going to come. Like, that's not rude to say that. That's like self-preservation. Like, hey, I know what I can handle, and if you pressure me, I'm gonna fold, and this is important to me, so be my friend, right? Like, don't be a jerk. Or, hey, I have like a really important business goal. Would you look at my opportunity at least? Like, just, let me practice on you. Can I run my script on you? Like, whatever. Like, or at least like my posts and don't roll your eyes. Or, like, at the very minimum, don't talk shit about what I'm doing or tell me to get a real job. Because a lot of you guys are off doing entrepreneurial things. We've got photographers and marketers and personal trainers and all these things. Like, hey, support me. Don't, at the very least, like, no talking shit. Positive vibes only with this venture because I need that support, right? And if people won't respect that, don't hang out with them straight up. Straight up. Do not hang out with them. They're not your friends. Um, and then social media. I always recommend if you do have a goal of some kind, share it. Not for accountability, but more of a like, hey, you guys, this is really important to me. This is what I'm going to be talking about the next few months. One of the ways that keeps me going is if you guys just like drop a heart, tell me to keep going, tell me nice job. If I drop my healthy lunch, if you guys could just give me a little clap, um, it helps me. And like, I appreciate that. And you're not asking them to come check on you to see if you ate your healthy lunch or if you did your work today. But hey, like, it's your social media is your life. Like, that's your stuff. You can put whatever you want up there. Bring people in and like let them support you because the more people who you can see give a shit about your goal, like it does increase your desire to keep going for it. It really matters. It's really easy to think like it doesn't matter, no one cares. But the more you share, you'll find people really do care a lot. It's really cool. Um, and you'll be people that you never expected. Like some of your biggest supporters on social media will be people like you didn't even know they cared or they were even looking at your posts at all. So I always recommend putting stuff like that out there. It can be really scary because then you do have to do the things, and it's harder when more people know that you didn't hit the goal. But I've missed a lot of goals in my life. There's no way I would have hit the ones I have hit if I hadn't gone for all the ones that I also missed, you know? So it's okay if people see you fall, because they're also going to see you win, and that's really cool. So that's support, okay? Accountability is different. Accountability is you've set something that's like measurable, you're going to do something a certain amount of times or at a certain time, or you're working on certain milestones, and then you get an external source to check in with in some way. So for people inside NJJ, what is that? We have the group. You have a kind of like a coach, whatever. I don't know what we're calling each other these days, but whoever's in charge of you in there. Maybe that's signing up to get the weekly check-ins and checking in with them. Or maybe that's sharing your monthly focus on the thread. Or maybe that's getting a buddy. A buddy is not meant to be like your bestie. It can be. Sometimes people turn out to be super besties and like two of my people sent me pictures of getting tattoos in Greece last month together. I was like, oh, hey guys. So yeah, sometimes your buddy ends up being your bestie, but really that's like, hey, did you do your stuff? Right? Like we're here to hold each other more accountable. It could be things like that website. I don't know what it's called, that website where you send them all your money, but like, I mean, I'm never gonna do that. I don't like accountability that much. No, thank you. Like, no. Um, so finding a group, finding a lot of times you'll see coaching programs where they have like the thing I got kicked out of, the daily like check-in or something like that. I know Danny, some of you guys work with Danny Kenny, and like she's got things where like there's set meetings and things like that. I would avoid things that are a little too vague, like, oh, like it's a self-paced course. You can come and go as you please. That's not accountability. That might be information, that could be resources, that could be support, but accountability is going to have that piece like, did you or did you not? What happens if you did not? What happens if you do? If you do, we move forward, right? And then if we do not, what happens? And it doesn't have to be a punishment. I don't really believe in like punitive approaches, but there is a natural consequence to anyone's behavior. If it's you've gotten a one-on-one coach and I always required that you had to have the thing finished or we didn't have the call. And then if we didn't have the call for a certain amount of time, we just didn't work together anymore because I'm not waiting for you. That's That's silly. I could be working with somebody who's moving forward, right? The same thing I do with my downline too. I recently said, I want you to book a call with me if you've had your welcome call and it's been 2 weeks at least, and you've sold at least one thing. There's some accountability. Like I'm going to work with you if, right? Like if this happens. And then we have that call. And on those calls, I said, okay, we're going to touch base again based on whatever we talked about. Like we will be talking again if you do the thing. That's not straight up like box checking accountability, but that's accountability. We don't get to move forward in any way unless you do your thing on your side. So then you come to me when you have the thing. Now, the thing I told you that Amy and I are working on, I actually got to talk to her yesterday, which was really fun. That's going to be really, really personalized because what we are doing is creating like 12 weeks at a time. You set a goal for that 12 weeks, and then we give you the exact milestones that you're going to be hitting each week. And then you actually you're prompted then every week to fill in if you hit the milestone or not. And then that's how you get to continue in the program, get to work with us directly, things like that. So that's like a very high level of accountability. And I did tell her, I was like, well, I feel like everybody who finishes the Magic course, we should let them beta test it when it launches at like a discount. So she totally agreed. So I'll keep you posted on that. I think we're shooting for like February 1st. But essentially something like, hey, here's your goal. This is what you need to do to get there. We're going to use like the mind map and stuff, like all the little things. But here's what you need to do to get here. Here are like every week you have to tell us if you did it or not. And we're not going to keep going if you didn't get past step one. All right, step one again. Okay, like let's go. So that you can actually hit your goals in that condensed period of time. We are both, it's really interesting how we align so much considering we didn't know each other last year. But we have the same concept of like short-term, focused, personalized accountability. Tell us exactly what you are working on. I want to check in with you. So that's the kind of thing, that's accountability. The roster in NJJ, that was accountability. Where that fell apart was if your coach didn't check it. Right? So accountability has a two-way street, right? Like the roster itself might feel like accountability, but if your coach isn't coming back behind you and going, why are you getting zeros? What is happening? What can I do for you? Are you okay? Or if they're not coming and going, you haven't checked in 5 days. What's the deal? There's no other side of the relationship. So like kind of see support is a little bit more one-sided, but accountability is a like two-way relationship. Both people are bringing something to the table, either you in the app or you in the website or you in the coach or you in the group or whatever. That's accountability. So ways that you can create accountability for yourself, obviously besides working with Amy and I whenever we get that going, are to find groups that have consequences for inaction. So if you do not do the thing, what happens? And a lot of times this can be done with you and somebody else. If you guys are in network marketing or if you have affiliate friends, that can be done just by finding one or two other people where you meet once a week and you guys mastermind and you work together and you're not allowed to come to the call if you haven't done your things. It's not necessarily hit your goals, but executed on the things that you can control, right? Like there's a difference between I've worked out for 5 days and I've lost 5 pounds. One of those is within your control, the other is not, right? So same thing with business goals. Did you post every day? Did you start this many conversations? Did you add this many whatever? That you can control. Did you make sales? Much less controllable. Follow-ups, controllable. Sales, not controllable, right? So you guys set controllable goals and like you get to be part of the meeting unless you didn't do your work and then you don't get to come. So you can create this accountability without spending $1. Like, I'm not saying you need to go hire somebody. I'm just giving you examples of how you can do that. There are a lot of apps that will like gamify the situation. I found one that was so fun that gave you like tokens and you leveled up and stuff. Oh, man. I'm drawing a blank on it right now. I said it last year on the recording, but I could probably find it. Or I could just Google it. That there's like, you don't get to play anymore if you don't finish your tasks. There's also little things on your phone that you can put where You don't get to access the fun apps on your phone, wherever you like to screw around and waste your time until you've checked off your habits for the day. So something you can do, there's free ways to do this. You don't need to go spend money on things and programs. These are just suggestions. So if you are inside NJJ, I highly recommend that you fill out your monthly focus, let your coach know that you do want to be checked on, and then when you do get those weekly check-ins, respond so that they can talk to you about whether like what's going on, if you're not on track, what's happening, and if you are on track, they can celebrate with you. If you're doing the affiliate thing, there are a lot of spaces right now. What I am actually going to do is at the end of this, I'm going to open the wall in the affiliate group. And I'm going to try to create more of an interactive space where we can have some education and some accountability going forward. So we'll be able to talk to each other a little bit more. But at the very least, there'll be like an accountability thread where you guys can find somebody else who is in the same like level of experience that you are and buddy up and be like, okay, let's do this affiliate thing together. The same way we did when we were Beachbody coaches, but then we kind of had teams and now everyone's on their own. So hopefully we can create more of a hub where you guys can connect and you can help each other and you can have that buddy. And of course, just like always, you guys, you might go through a few buddies before you find the one that you like because not everybody clicks. So keep trying if it doesn't land the first time. Same thing with buddies inside NJJ. Totally the same. Like you're not going to love everybody and not everyone's going to be your style. Not everyone's going to hold you accountable the way that you want to be held accountable. So you'll just keep working on that. If you're in network marketing, whatever team you're on, wherever company you're at, pop into your threads and ask, hey, here are my goals. I always recommend you guys don't just be like, who wants to be my partner? Just like dating, okay? Know who you are and know about yourself and know what you're looking for. So like, what do you need? How do you operate? What ways do you like to communicate best? Are you a texting person? Are you a call person? Are you a Zoom person? Are you an in-person? Like, what's your deal? Where do you usually need help? Where do you thrive best? What doesn't work for you? And then what are you looking for? Like looking for somebody who's going for like these particular goals. Here's kind of how I work. Here's when I'm available. And then, let's talk and see if we're a good fit. Maybe we do a trial run for a couple of weeks or a month, and then we evaluate at the end. So you're not accidentally married to this person for the rest of your life. Or you're like awkwardly in this accountability relationship you don't want to be in. It's real weird. This has happened to me, which is how I know this, where you're like, how do I break up with this person now? But if you set that in advance, you can kind of step away at the end of that trial period if it's not for you. But like know what you're looking for. Same thing, like anywhere you're getting any accountability, I want you to go into that evaluating, is this the right fit for me? Because so me personally, doing daily accountability does not work for me. I am not a daily person. I am very focused on what I'm focused on, and then I am not anymore. I'm on to something different. And so I've always, my entire career, I've time chunked. I've been like, this is when I'm doing this kind of work. And this is when you will not be able to find me at all. And this is when I'm creating, and this is when I'm connecting, and this is just how it works for me. So somebody doing like that business activity tracker we had at Beachbody, like, you want me to send 10 messages a day? I'm not doing that. I'm never going to do it. I don't even think that's a good way to do business, honestly, personal opinion. I think it's trash. So I'm not buying in. So being in a program that's expected every day, that's not for me. However, I do amazing in mastermind situations where like we're all kind of bringing something to the table and we're excited to celebrate that goal and we do need to have finished our work to come. That works for me. I want to be in the room where people are doing big things. And if you say these are the requirements, I'll do it, but I'm going to do them my way. Right. So I'm going to do them all in 6 hours on a Tuesday. That's just how I work. So know yourself. Okay. Don't put your success in the hands of other people though. So let's say I want to be Candace's success partner. But what I say is, okay, Candace, here, I really need you to check in with me every day and just make sure I did my workout. No. Thumbs down, red X on the screen, buzzer sound. No. Okay. Here's what I can say. Candace, I am going to message you every day at the end of my workout. You see how that's the same but different? I'm responsible. Candace is not my mom. I'm not paying her. If I want them to check on me every day, I better pay them. Her time's not free, right? So let's say Candace has a tendency to stay up too late, and she says to me, "Okay, I need you. Like, can you send me a text like every night at 9 o'clock to get off my phone?" No, but what can Candace do? I will text you when I'm putting my phone down every night, because what will happen is she'll know she needs to do that, and I'll know she needs to do that, and then when she doesn't, I will probably slide in and be like, "Hey, where's my text?" Right? After she's done it for 8 or 9 days and I don't hear from her, there's a natural relationship that builds, but it's not my responsibility. And then she's gonna be like, "Ah, shit, you're right." Or I say nothing and she just feels bad because she knows she wasn't supposed to be doing that. And the next morning I get an apology message and be like, "Yeah, I stayed up too late." And I'm like, "Okay, like, well, tonight we're good, right? Like, tonight we're good." That's different. So you can create accountability with people without putting the responsibility of your success on them. That matters. Okay. So here's what I am going to do. And like, here's how I am going to show up. One fun thing I do in NJJ with the mini goals, I always say include a third party. So let's say Candace and I are friends. I mean, we are friends, but let's say for this scenario, we're also friends in the imaginary world. And I say, "Okay, Candace, my reward for doing my 15 workouts in January is that I am going to get a massage. I am sending you the $150 for my massage. Don't give it back to me. You get to keep it if I don't get to the massage. Like if I don't get my 15 workouts in, right? You can do fun things like that too if you trust the person, you're friends with them enough. Like create something, some like reward consequence situation just with each other. But you're not allowed to feel bad when they keep your money because like you better have done your workouts. That's your fault, right? So that's actually all I have for you guys today. This one's pretty short. I really just wanted to explain the difference and understand how to treat the people in your life versus the professional people in your life. Like you have relationships and friends and spouses and such, and then you have career people and people who are actually here to be accountability for you. And don't interchange those people. It gets real messy. Um, and make sure you are taking responsibility for yourself. You're putting yourself in places where you can be held accountable and you do feel supported and things are positive. Limit the time that you spend, if not eliminate the time that you spend with anybody that isn't going to be either providing support or accountability in some way. Because if they're not supporting, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And you don't want anyone in your life that's going to be in your way. It's fine if they're not choosing to go with you, but if they're in your way, it, their time in your life may have just expired, and that's okay. That happens. So does anyone have any questions about anything before I like wrap up the group right now? Anyone? What was in the chat? Oh, yeah, Vanessa. It's gonna be awesome. Vanessa said sweet about the thing we were doing. Amy and I are doing. We had a lot of fun. We were on Zoom for like 2 hours yesterday, and there's going to be an app, and we're very excited. We're very excited. It really that came together in such a way of like all of my experience and all of her tech knowledge and the way that I did my life coaching before, and the way that I've run NJJ for so many years, and like bringing it all together and really seeing like where are those gaps and how can we really help people. So we're having a really good time creating that for you guys. So yeah, and you guys will be the first ones to hear about it. Okay, well, you guys, thank you for being here. That was so much work, and I guarantee you've never put this much work into goals in your life. Everyone's like, "I'm gonna go to make a vision board." And they're like, "What? This is a college class. What did you do? Do I get a degree at the end of this?" Um, so thank you. I am so proud of you for still being here on day 6 and actually doing all of this work. I hope that this changes the way that you think about goals and the way that you think about your vision and your priorities going forward. My biggest hope for you is that it helps simplify, align, and focus your life so that you can really achieve things this year in a way that feels good, that feels grounded, and like you can enjoy the growth and you can have time to celebrate when you achieve, and you get to experience it in a way that's not just like getting through the day and checking those boxes, but you really get to enjoy 2025. So I'm excited for you guys. These videos will stay up until the 15th, and honestly, you guys, they'll probably stay up till the weekend because I don't have time on a Wednesday to delete things. Come on. That's probably a lie. But the 15th-ish. So if you want to go back and rewatch anything or you want to redo your priority statement or whatever, um, go for it. And obviously you can like copy and paste the questions and you can save those types of things so you can do this again throughout the year. I hope to do another one, a mini one on the quote unquote real New Year, which is March 25th. I always like to do another, I don't know if you guys know that history, but anyway, the real New Year is March 25th. So we will do something on that week, hopefully, to just revisit. I'll be in touch about the thing that Amy and I are working on, of course. But other than that, you guys know where to find me. All of you are in at least one of my Facebook groups, if not 100. So you know where to find me. And we're going to have a great year together. So thank you for being here.